Brilliant. Okay, so we're going to start standing on the mat, feet together. Good. So turning toes out, followed by heels. So just looking at your feet, make sure they're tracking straight and parallel. Soft through the knees, hips facing forward, shoulders round and down, and ears over those shoulders. So just placing the hands on the hips here, and we're rocking that pelvis forward and back. So flattening through the lumbar spine and arching through the lumbar spine. So finding the halfway point between the two, nice neutral spine position. Jen, you all right for me to continue, are you? Okay, all right, so I'm going to place the hands over the rib cage. Going to go nice deep breath in through the nose. Feel the rib cage expanding and out through the mouth. One more time, nice deep breath in through the nose, trying not to breathe up into the shoulders and out through the mouth. So while we continue with this deep lateral breathing, we're imagining that belt around the waist, drawing the sides towards each other, belly button back towards the spine, and at the same time feel those pelvic floor muscles like a lift coming up. 1, 2, and 3. So tightness through the whole abdominal core region, but you can keep with that deep lateral breathing. So relaxing the arms down by your side, and we're going to start with those forward shoulder rolls. Just nice big rolls, releasing any tightness in those shoulders. We're going to go one more time forward, and then we're reversing, so up to the ears, over the mountain and down the other side, really squeezing those shoulder blades together at the back. We're going to go one more time, slide those shoulders down the back, arms hanging by your side, and we're going to float those arms out to the side, reaching them up towards the ceiling. Draw the shoulders away from the ears. On the out breath, push the air away as you bring the arms back down. Good. In breath, locking those shoulders down the back as we float the arms out to the side and up to the ceiling. Palms facing away from you. We're going to go right hand forward, left hand back. Circle all the way around and back up to the ceiling again. One more time. Right hand forward, left arm back. Circle around and back up to the ceiling again. So we're changing. We're going to go left hand forward, right arm back. Circle around and up. One more time. Left hand forward, right hand back. Reaching forward and back all the way around, back up to the ceiling again. And we're just going to float the arms open to shoulder height. Jane, the sun is sort of streaming in and I'm losing you. Have you got curtains or sorry? Oh, perfect. That's better. Good. And we're going to place the hands behind the head, keeping the elbows wide. Shrug the shoulders up to your ears. Draw those shoulders down your back. And then we're squeezing those shoulder blades together behind you. And floating the hands open, palms facing away from you, bringing the hands down behind the body and just opening up through the chest there. Good. So one more time, arms back up to shoulder height, bend the elbows, place the hands behind the head. Shrug the shoulders up to your ears, draw the shoulder blades down the back, squeeze those shoulders together, and then we're floating the hands, the arms open, palms facing away from you, reaching the hands behind you, and then we're going to interlock those hands behind you, turn them inside out, and just lifting them up away from the glutes. They're really squeezing those shoulder blades together at the back. Nice deep breath in and out, just feeling that stretch. We're going to relax the hands down now onto the glutes and into our neck stretches now. So we're going to drop right here to right shoulder, keeping that left shoulder down the back. Chin to chest. Now take your time with this, really slowly stretching out through the neck, rubbing that chin along the chest, finishing with left ear over left shoulder, keeping that right shoulder down. And again, chin to chest, rubbing that chin along the chest, ending up with right ear over right shoulder, Center the head back up, unlock those hands, and we're just going to roll those shoulders back to loosen them off. Good. So coming to our half roll down here, so hands on the front of the thighs, scooping that belly button to spine on the in-breath. On the out-breath, we're rounding up, flexing through the back. Keep those knees nice and bent. Come down to hands just above the knees. Then we're going to start to lengthen through the back, through the crown of the head, and very gently feeding on into that back extension there. Good. And then we're going to go chin to chest, rounding back up, flexing through that back, stacking that spine, and coming up to standing, rolling the shoulders back. Good, one more time. In breath, scoop belly button to spine, we're rounding down, hook the hands, lengthen through the back, feeding on into that back extension there. Good, and then chin to chest, flexing through that back, rounding back up, stacking the spine, rolling the shoulders back. Good. So we're going to take right arm up, left arm down, lengthening through the waist, keep the hips centered, and we're going over into the left side bend there. In breath to center, and we're changing arms, so left arm up, right arm down. Lengthen through the waist and over into the side bend. Keep the knees soft so we're not pulling on that back at all. And center one more time to each side. But this time as we go over to the left, we're going to slide that right hip out. Good. So really opening up through that right side and center. So right arm up, left arm up, slide that left hip out and center back up again. Good. So into the full roll down now. So scooping the belly button to spine, on the out breath, chin to chest. So we're letting those arms hang like a rag doll. Head hanging, slowly articulating through each vertebra joint, especially taking time through that lumbar spine, all the way down to the toes. Let the head hang, arms hang, and then we're scooping belly button to spine, and we're rounding back up, stacking that spine one vertebra at a time. Come up to standing and roll those shoulders back. Good. One more time, scooping the belly button to spine. Good. Jane, just checking, have you got a chair with you? Yeah, I wonder, okay, whether you want to roll down to the chair, it's up to you. This time, we're either going to hook the fingers underneath the toes or place the palms flat on the floor, head hanging, shoulders down the back, and we're going to straighten through that left knee for 4, 3, 2, 1, and soften. Straightening through the right knee for 4, 3, 2, 1, and soften. Straightening through both knees, head hanging. We're drawing the shoulders down the back. Breathing through that stretch. And then we're going to come down onto our hands and knees. And Jane, are you all right onto your chair? Perfect. So, knees underneath hips, wrists underneath the shoulders. We're scooping that belly button to spine there. And when you're ready, we're going into the cat stretch. So on the in-breath, we're rounding thoracic back up towards the ceiling. On the out-breath, lengthen tail and crown and feeding on into that back extension. Good. One more time. In-breath, rounding thoracic back up towards the ceiling, looking towards your belly button. On the out-breath, lengthen tail and crown into that back extension. Just one more time. We're going to flex that back off, rounding it up to the ceiling, and then coming back to your neutral spine position, keeping that belly button scooped. We're going to slide the left leg back there, tuck that left toe underneath you. Either coming down onto forearms if you have wrist issues, or just pushing back through the hands, taking the heel to the floor there. Good. So really trying to get that heel down, so you're feeling that stretch through the calf. We're holding that for 10, 9, 8, just keeping that back of the head in line with the spine, for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and sliding that knee back in. Good, so we're sliding the right leg back, tuck that right toe underneath you, push back through the hands. Think of the shoulders staying down your back as well, for 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and sliding that right knee in. Good. So into the hip drops here. So we're going to take both hips over to the right. Turn and look over the left shoulder at your heels. Or Jane behind you anyway. Good. And center back up. And then we're going to take both hips over to the left, looking over the right shoulder at your heels. And center back up again. We're going to do one more time to each side. This time, see if you can drop those hips a little lower. Good. And last time, taking them over to the left. Brilliant. And center back up again. We're going to sit back on our heels, head down to the floor, or just stay lifted and walk the hands forward. And just stretching through that back. And then we're going to round back up and bring the legs out in front of you. So we'll come to sitting on the floor. We're going to grab our rollers, sitting in the V-legs. Popping it light here, good. So legs out into the V, crown of the head up to the ceiling. If you need to pop yourself onto a pillow just to get nice and straight through that back. And we're going to hold, we're starting with holding that foam roller. So sort of at shoulder height, but keeping those shoulders down the back, crown of the head up to the ceiling. We're going into the spine twist. So Jane, if you could maybe hold it in between your arms just to take a bit of pressure off the wrist there. And we're going to turn to the right, keeping the crown of the head up to the ceiling, back of the head in line with the spine, feeling that rotation through the back, and center back up again. Good. So again, we're going to the left, and again, thinking of sitting up nice and tall, feeling that rotation in the back, and center back up again. One more time to each side. So to the right. See if you can take it a little further this time. And center back up, and we're round to the left. Good, reaching the crown of the head to the ceiling. We're centering back up again. We're going to place the roller down in the middle of the V and hinging forward from the hips. We're going to roll that roller forward. Try and keep the shoulders down the back. We're going to take the ends of the roller now, and we're going to pop it up onto its right side and look up underneath that left arm up to the ceiling there. Good, and then in breath to lower the roller, flatten it back up, popping it up on its left side and look up underneath the right arm to the ceiling. Good, one more time to each side. We're dropping it down each time. See if you can take that chest a little lower to the floor as we look up underneath that left arm to the ceiling. And last time, now take the chest to the floor as we pop it up, looking up underneath that right arm to the ceiling. Good. Flattening it out. Again, place the hands on top of the roller. See if you can just drop a little bit lower down. Good, and then chin to chest, we're rounding back up and stacking that spine. So we're going to come to lying on the roller. So bring the roller onto the center of the mat, running vertically down the mat, and then sitting on the end. And very gently supporting yourself with your hands, we're going to come down to lying on the roller, making sure the head and the tailbone are sitting comfortably there. Our feet are towards the edges of the mat there, and arms just relax down by your side. So we're just going to find the neutral spine position, or just curling that pelvis. So we'll start with curling the pelvis forward. So we're arching through that lumbar spine, taking the chin up towards the ceiling. And then we're flattening through that lumbar spine and sliding the chin towards the chest there. Good, and one more time, we're going to arch through that lumbar spine, so rolling that pelvis forward, taking the chin up towards the ceiling, and then flattening through the lumbar spine and sliding the chin towards the chest. Then we're going to float right and left arm up to the ceiling, thinking of the shoulders staying down your back, palms facing each other, and we're going to float the back of the hands down towards the floor, reaching the hands down to the floor, so the back of the hands are on the floor, keeping that lumbar spine down into the mat, dropping those shoulders down either side of the roller there. Good, and then we're floating the arms back up to the ceiling again. So one more time, reaching those fingers away from you, we're floating those arms open, take the back of the hand to the floor, keep that rib cage locked down, and floating the arms back up to the ceiling again, palms facing away from you. We're going to go left arm up above the head, right hand comes down towards your feet. Keeping the hands on the floor, we're going to drag the fingers. So we're changing arms to bring the right arm up, left arm down, and take the arms back up to the ceiling again. Good, so changing hands, we're going to go right arm up this time, left arm down, dragging the fingers on the floor, ending up with the left arm up, right arm down, and take both arms back up to the ceiling again. Keeping the palms facing away from you, we're going to drop both elbows down towards the floor. Obviously, don't force it. And if you can, then we're going to take the back of the hands down towards the floor. Again, not forcing them down, keeping that rib cage down. We're going to repeat that last movement. So fingers to the ceiling again, and then take the back of the hands down towards the floor. Good. So we're just keeping the elbows on the floor here and just repeating the fingers to the ceiling and back of the hands to the floor. Good. One more time, fingers to the ceiling, back of the hands to the floor. And then if you feel comfortable to carry on, we're going to slide the hands along or towards the floor, up above your head. Otherwise, just keep repeating that last movement. And we're drawing the arms back up to the ceiling again. So one more time, from the fingers up towards the ceiling, we're dropping the elbows down to the floor at shoulder height. Take the back of the hands down towards the floor, locking that rib cage down. I'm going to slide the hands along the floor, or just keep repeating that last movement, taking them behind your head and then reach them back up to the ceiling again. And then I want you to just relax your arms down by your side now, dropping the shoulders over the edges of the roller, just thinking about that lumbar spine locking down. And we're going to float the left leg up into tabletop here. And then we're going to take that left leg straight up to the ceiling. Good. So we're going to flex through the foot, locking the back down. We're going to lower that leg as low as we can without the back popping up. And then we're going to point and take it back up to the ceiling. So we don't want to actually rest it on the floor. So if you are taking it low enough to just hover above the floor, and then point and back up to the ceiling again. Good. Two more times. Flex, reach that heel away from you as you lower and point to come back up again. Last one. Flex, reach the heel away from you as you lower and point to come back up to the ceiling again. Back to tabletop, and then lower that left foot back down to the mat. Good. So just readdressing that lumbar spine, locking into the mat. We're floating the right leg up into tabletop position and then straight up to the ceiling there. Flex through the foot, we're lowering the heel, push the heel away from you, point to come back up to the ceiling again. Really locking that back down, drawing that belly button to spine as we lower, and point to come back up again. 2 more times. Flex, push the heel away from you as you lower, and point to take back up to the ceiling. Last one. Flex, push the heel away to lower, point to come back up to the ceiling again. We're going to take that right leg back to tabletop, hold it there, and we're going to take the left leg now up to join it. So we've got both legs up into tabletop, really locking that lumbar spine down. Feet in flexion, and we're going to heel tap, left foot, and then right foot. So again, locking that back down into the mat there. Good. And really working on those. Pull the belly button staying into the spine. Good. I just want you to hug your knees into your chest for a minute. So I'm just going to talk you through a progression. So if you haven't, if you can watch me for a sec. So this is a progression, you don't have to do this. So we're going to place the right hand on the front, or just below, sorry, above that right knee. And we're going to push the right knee into that right hand. So we're just getting some resistance there. And with the left heel, then we're going to be toe tapping. So we're going to do 5 on the one side, getting that resistance through the right leg, and 5 on the other. Okay. So when you're ready, hand on the, just above the knee, on the front of the thigh there, get some resistance going on there, flex through the left foot, and we're heel tapping for 5, and 4, for 3, really lock that back down for 2, and last one here, good. Hug those knees in for a sec as we change hands, and then legs back to tabletop, getting the resistance through that left hand and left knee, and we're heel tapping with the right for 5, and 4, really locking that back down, and 3, and 2, last one here. Good. Again, draw those knees in up over your chest. And then we're going to take the feet back down to the mat. Bring the feet to the side of the mat, and then we're going to, the roller, sorry. And then we're going to come up to sitting off the roller. Good. Taking the roller behind you here. Good, and so we're going to gently come down onto the roller. Now remember what we said before about keeping that roller on the rib cage, so not coming below the rib cage there. Supporting the hands behind your head. We're going to lift the hips up here, and we're just going to roll that roller up and down that back, which is quite nice, especially after we've been working through the core there, which can sometimes be quite strenuous on that back. Good, and just having a nice roll up and down. As you're coming up towards the top of the shoulders, you can lower that head a little bit. Good. And then we're going to stop with the roller just below the shoulder blades there, just fractionally below. Drop those hips back down. Now you might have to change the position, see how you get on. Keeping the elbows wide, we're very gently going to lower the back of the head down towards the floor. Now, you should feel the stretch through the back. If it feels that you're not getting that head anyway down towards the floor, you can always bring that roller up slightly, but obviously you're not going to probably get it to the floor. And then take the chin to the chest and just bring that head up. Good. So one more time, we're going to relax that head back and just breathing through that stretch, through that thoracic back, locking that rib cage down, and we're curling back up again. Good. One last time here, in breath, we're going to relax that head back. Keep those elbows wide. Just breathe through that stretch. Chin to chest, we're coming back up here. So we're locking that belly button into the spine there. We're going to take the left leg up into tabletop and then right leg. If it feels too much for you, stay with one leg. Toes are pointed here and we're going to toe tap. Good. So doing the left leg and then the right. Good. Really locking that belly button into the spine. 2, we're going to do 5 to each side, so 3 more, and tap, good, 2 more to each side, draw that belly button to spine, and last one here, and 1, brilliant, and we're going to lower 1 foot at a time, we're going to come back up to sitting here, keeping those knees bent. We're going to hold on to the roller. Now, if it's not comfortable holding on to the roller, of course, leave the roller and just have your arms straight out in front of you. And we're coming back into the roll back C curve. So when you're ready, we're scooping the belly button to spine, shoulders down the back. And we're coming back into that C curve, keeping nice and relaxed through the shoulders and the neck. Penny, just bend your knees there, and then we're going to roll back up and stack that spine. Good. Deep breath in, drawing the belly button to spine, keeping the shoulders relaxed. Good. We're coming a little bit lower this time, drawing that belly button to spine, and we're rounding back up and stacking. Take the roller to the ceiling this time. On the next one, we're going to do, I'll just show you, we're going to do the floats to the left and right, so don't come too low down. We're drawing, from up above your head, we're coming back into the roll back C curve. We're going to float the roller to the left and center. I'm going to float the roller to the right and center. We're rounding back up and stacking, taking that roller up above your head. Good. One more time. This time I'm going to start floating to the right. So draw the belly button to spine as we roll back to the C curve. We're going to do the right side. Float and center. Left side. Float and center. We're rounding back and stacking that spine. Arms to the ceiling, legs long now. We're placing the roller onto the front of the shins, roll it down over your toes, and we're just hinging forward, stretching out through that back there, placing a bit of pressure onto the toes there. Good. Okay, so the choice is yours. We're going to go into a roll down to the floor. So you can either take the roller underneath your heels here, or just keep the roller handy and we'll do the roll down and then we can take it from there. So arms out in front of you, crown of the head up towards the ceiling. We're drawing the belly button to spine and we're slowly rolling down, coming down lumbar, thoracic. Take the head down, reach the arms over the top of you, back of the hands onto the floor, flexion through the feet. We're just going to reach the right hand and right heel away from you and relax, and left arm, left heel reaching and relax. One more time to each side, right arm, right heel and relax. Left arm, left heel, and relax, and just letting that back melt down to the floor. Feel the shoulders relaxing down your back a little bit. And then we're going to bring the arms down by your side. So again, the choice is yours. We're coming into the shoulder bridge, so we can either do it with the feet on the roller, or if you tend to cramp through the hamstring, maybe just do it without. So from here, we're going to draw the belly button to spine, curl that pelvis up off the mat, peeling the vertebra one at a time to come up into the shoulder bridge position,
lifting those hips as high as possible, but dropping that rib cage down. Make sure there's no tension through the neck or shoulders, and then we're going to come back down one vertebra at a time, keeping that pelvis curled up until the end. Good. One more time, deep breath in. As we breathe out, we're curling that pelvis up off the mat, peeling the vertebra one at a time as we come up into the shoulder bridge position. Hips lifted, rib cage down. I'm going to place the hands onto the front of the thighs here, staying up in the shoulder bridge. We're going to reach the hands up to the ceiling, take them over the head and back of the hands onto the floor. Good. And then we're reaching the hands back up to the ceiling again and onto your thighs. So one more time, while we're doing this, I want you to think of that teacup and saucer on your lower abdominals there, making sure they stay nice and level, and so it's not sliding off. We're reaching arms back up to the ceiling again, all the way back down to the floor this time. So bringing the hands down towards your feet, onto the floor, and then we're going to come back down one vertebra at a time, keeping that pelvis curled up until the end. Good. One more time. When you're ready, we're curling that pelvis up, healing that vertebra one at a time as we come up into the shoulder bridge position. Just make sure those hips are really lifted, those glutes are squeezing. We're going to float the left leg into tabletop here, and then straighten it up to the ceiling, back to tabletop, and lower it back down again. Good. Thinking of the teacup and saucer. We're taking that right leg into tabletop, straight up to the ceiling, back to tabletop. So firing up these glutes and lower the foot back down, and we're coming back down one vertebra at a time, keeping that pelvis curled up until the end. Just hug those knees into your chest now. Rock from side to side and just loosening that back off. Good. So we're going to take the feet the other side of the roller here now. So got the roller in between the heels and the glutes. And then we're going to lift the pelvis up here and place the roller underneath the pelvis. And just thinking about that pelvic tilt here, because obviously with having the roller there, the rib cage wants to pop up. So really try and bring that rib cage down towards your hip. Feel that pelvis tilting there a little bit. And from here, we're going to float the left leg up into tabletop position. I also just want you to check that neck, that there's no pressure onto the neck there. The neck should feel nice and long and relaxed. And then we're going to float that left leg up to the ceiling. Take hold of the leg with your hands, so either calf or hamstring there. And we're going to start with those ankle circles, nice and slow. We're going to do 4 times in the one direction, and then we're going to change direction and 4 times in the other. And then we're going to start to point through the toe, flex, reach the heel up to the ceiling, point through the toe and flex, reaching that heel up. One more time, we're pointing through the toe, flex, reach that heel up to the ceiling. We're going to bend that left knee, bring it into your chest, and we're going to lengthen that right leg away from you here. Flexion through the foot, trying to take the heel to the floor, but without losing your neutral spine position. So don't let that rib cage pop up. And we should hopefully be feeling a nice stretch through the top of that right thigh up into the hip flexors here. If you're not feeling much of a stretch, you could straighten that left leg if you feel that you get more of a stretch there. To be honest with you, I feel with the bent knee I get more of a stretch, but some people feel they increases by straightening that leg. And we're just breathing through that stretch on each out breath. See if that heel can drop a little bit further to the floor there. Good, and then we're going to bring that right knee up into tabletop, lower the left foot to the floor with a bent knee. So the right leg is going straight up to the ceiling, catch hold of that calf or hamstring. And then we're going to start with those ankle circles. Again, really nice and slow. Taking that ankle joint through its full range of movement. We're changing direction here for 4 and 3, 2 and 1. And then we're pointing through the toe, flex, reaching the heel up to the ceiling. Point through the toe, flex, reaching that heel up. One more time, we're pointing through the toe. Flex, reaching that heel up to the ceiling, and then we're going to draw that knee into your chest, lengthen the left leg away, flexion through that left foot, really reaching that heel away from you, feeling that stretch through the top of that left thigh. A deep breath in as you breathe out. See if that heel will drop a little bit lower and longer to the floor. Good. One more time, deep breath in. As you breathe out, really pushing that heel away from you. Good. And then we're going to draw that left knee up to your chest. We're going to take the left leg straight up to the ceiling, holding onto the edges of the roller here. And we're going to lengthen that right leg away. So we're going into the scissors here. So the right leg is going to drop. The left leg is being brought over your head, and we're going to pulse for 1, 2, and then swap. And pulsing for 1, 2, and swap. At all times, thinking about that belly button, drawing to the spine, staying in your neutral spine position, really pulling that leg over the head and reaching the other one away. Good. And we're going for 1, 2, and swap. 1, 2, and swap. Good. 2 more times to each side, and swap, and swap. Good. Last time to each side. Good. Take those legs back up to the ceiling again. Again, thinking about the belly button drawn to spine. We're going to start to cross one leg in front of the other, and then alternating as we slowly start to lower those legs. So only take them as low as you can keep that belly button drawn into the spine. If you feel that popping up, we're going to take that back up to the ceiling again. Good. So we're lowering and cross and cross. Good. For 3, 2, and 1. And we're taking it back up to the ceiling again. For 3, 2, and 1. One more time. We're lowering it, crossing them over. Good. Taking the heels down towards the floor. Lock the back down and taking back up to that ceiling again. Hug those knees now into your chest. So we're going to, as we worked on last time, so if you're able to look at me a little bit here now, we can take the movement from the knees being bent, hands on top of the roller, and then we're going to gently use a bit of momentum to come up. But remember the neck, we're putting no pressure on the neck there, and then controlled movement, lower ourselves back down. If you're happy to, you can do it from straight leg, and then take the legs over the head. So it's up to you whether you want to start from bent or straight legs, basically. We're only coming up onto the shoulders, so never coming up onto the neck there. We're going to do it 3 times. So when you're ready, choosing your pick, we're going to take the legs over the top, reaching the palms down into the roller there, and then slowly control the movement as you come back down to the roller. Good. 2 more times. So taking the legs over, up, up onto the shoulders, good for 2. And lower back down. And what we're really trying to do is just open up through our lower back here. So one more time, we're taking the legs over, dropping the feet down towards the floor, and then slowly coming back down, legs back up to tabletop, holding the ends of the roller here, and we're going to hip drop or knee drop to the right side here, and hopefully that roller is in the nice juicy part of the glutes there, that you can feel that as you drop them down to the right. We're going to center back up again, keeping the belly button drawn to the spine, and then we're going to take the knees down to the left side. Good, and center back up. Now we're going to take the knees down to the right side, and this time we're going to do those little knee circles here. So if you're finding a nice tender area there, just stay on there. We're going to do those little knee circles in the one direction, and then we're going to change direction. Little knee circles. Good, belly button to spine as we center back up, and we're going to take the knees over to the left. And again, once you find a little tender spot there, we're going to stay there, and we're going to circle the legs round to the knees, round to the left. Good, and then we're going to change direction there and circling the knees in the other direction. Good, and then drawing the belly button to spine, we're bringing the knees back up to the center again. We're going to place the right ankle onto the left knee here, and then we're going to roll over onto that right side. Good, so sort of the other direction to what we normally do, and just really getting in again, just rocking from side to side. Keep the right ankle onto the left knee, and we're going to go over onto the left side a bit now. Good, so we haven't swapped. We stayed the same ankle onto the knee. We just rolled onto the other side here. Good, and coming back to the center, we're going to change legs now. So left ankle onto right knee, and we're going to come over to that left side first. Good, and again, either little circles or just rocking from side to side. And back to the center, taking the lumbar spine to the mat, and then we're coming over onto that right side. Good, and again, little circles here, really getting into those glutes there. It's really good to keep these glutes. They're a big muscle group. They do a lot of work, and they can cause a lot of lower back pain. So it is really good to get into these and loosen these off a little bit. So we're coming back to the center now. Draw the knees over the chest. We're sliding the roller out. We can just push the roller away for a sec. We're coming onto our sides and up to sitting. And now is when we can take those bands. So I do apologize for not having mine with me. But you're going to take them from underneath over the top and just tie them. You can tie them fairly tight. If you want to work particularly hard, you could do a double. So come over the top first, under and round. But I think probably best today just to do a single one, and then we can always up the ante next week. 1, 2. So we're going to come down onto our right sides now. We can either use a pillow here or just rest our head onto our arms, or you could bend your elbows and just rest the head into the hand there. The top hand is sitting on your hips, and we just want to have a thumb in the glutes there a little bit, just to keep checking that we're really firing those glutes up. Good. So when you're ready, we're going to squeeze through the glutes, keeping the feet together. We're going to take the knee up towards the ceiling, and don't rock back on those hips.
and squeeze back shut again. Good. One more time. Squeeze those glutes. Take the knee to the ceiling and lower back down. On the next breath, we're going to take the knee and ankle up to the ceiling. Check those glutes are firing and lower back down. On the out breath, knee and ankle up to the ceiling. We're holding it here. We're pulsing it up for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and lower back down. Good. One more time. Squeeze those glutes as we take the knee and ankle up. And we're pulsing for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and lower back down. Good. We're going to take that knee and ankle up to hip height there. And then we're going to open the knee up to the ceiling, not rocking back on the hip, and then drop the knee down and foot to the ceiling. Good. So opening the hip up, knee to the ceiling, and then foot to the ceiling. Good. One more time. We're going to go knee to the ceiling, and then foot to the ceiling. Good, and then we're going to lower the knee and ankle, stacking it up, and then we're going to lengthen both legs away. And now we can bring your top hand, I'm just going to move up a bit, we can bring the top hand down in front of you to support you, and preferably come down to lying on your arm. And the reason for this is because we want to be getting really long through the body. So we're going to point through the top toe, take it up towards the ceiling, flex, lengthen, lift that waist up away from the mat as you lower back down. Good. So pointing to come up, flex, lengthen, and lower back down. We're pointing to come up, flex, lengthen. We're holding it here, and we're going to pulse it here for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and lower back down. Good. It's a real killer. So if you feel you need to just go back to single ones, that's fine. We're going to do it one more time. Pointing to come up, flex, push the heel away, and we're pulsing for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and lower back down. Good. Give that a good pat off. So hopefully we've still got our rollers fairly handy. We're going to come up to sitting. So we're going to bring the legs to the left of you and come up sitting with the legs to the side. If that's not comfortable position, just have the legs straight out in front of you. And we're going to have the roller on the side of the legs this time. So I'm always changing it up. Okay, so we're going to take the right hand to the floor, slide the right hand away. So we're going away from the roller, over the top. Good, and then we're going to bring the left hand onto the roller, and then bring the right hand over. Brilliant, and roll that roller away. Good. One more time. So bringing the hand over other side of the legs and just reaching over the top. Good, and then left hand onto the roller, push it away, reach that right hand over the top. Lovely stretch all through that right side. And come back up to sitting. So just taking the roller to the side for a minute. We're going to come to lying on our left side now. So coming down onto your side, knees are bent. And then we're going to bend the elbow if you want to support that head, or you can just leave it down on the arm. Hands on that top hip. Keeping those feet glued together as we squeeze the glutes and take the knee to the ceiling and lower back down. Good. Squeezing those glutes. We're going to take the knee up towards the ceiling
and lower. Good. This time we're going to take the knee and ankle up towards the ceiling. Really feel those glutes firing and lower back down. Good. Squeeze those glutes, knee and ankle up towards the ceiling and lower. On the next one, we're going to start the pulsing, squeezing those glutes, and we're pulsing that knee now for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and lower back down. Good. One more time, squeezing those glutes, knee and ankle up to hip height, and we're pulsing for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and lower back down. Good. We're going to take the knee and ankle up to hip height, keeping those hips stacked. We're going to open the knee up to the ceiling and then drop the knee and take the foot to the ceiling. Good. Knee to the ceiling and foot to the ceiling. Good. One more time here. We're going to go knee to the ceiling and foot to the ceiling. Brilliant. We're going to level them out, lower the knee and ankle back down, give it a nice tap off there, and then we're going to lengthen both legs away from you. Good, and we can bring that top hand down to support us now, ideally coming down onto the arm. So we're going to point through the toe, flex, lengthen the hip away, feel that waist lightening away from the mat as we lower back down. Pointing to come up, flex, lengthen, and lower back down. We're going to pulse it on the next one. So pointing to come up, flex, lengthen. I'm going to just take that leg back to hip height, and we're pulsing here for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and lower back down. Good. One more time, pointing through the toe. Flex, lengthen the leg away, and we're pulsing for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and lower that back down. Good. Give it a good pat off. So we're going to come, bend those knees out to the right, come up to sitting. So keeping the legs to the right there, foam roller on your right side, or have the legs straight in front of you. And we're going to slide the left hand down away from you, so away from your legs. Reach the arm over the top, keep the elbow soft and shoulder down, and then we're coming over to the right side, slide the roller away and reach the arm over to the left. Good. Good, and then we're bringing that top arm over, slide it away from you, reaching the right arm over. Good. Have you changed sides up there, Penny? Sorry, I'm not being very good. I'm not mirror imaging on this one. So just make sure, as long as we're doing, it doesn't matter if we're doing different side, as long as you've done both sides. That's the important thing here. Okay, good. We're going to do a little bit of work on our fronts now. So we're going to bring the roller. I'm just going to lie this way because it's easier for me to see, but we're going to come down to lying on our fronts here. Foam rollers slightly in front of us, feet are hip width apart, thinking about your neutral spine here. So nice and flat through the back, forehead down into the mat. And then we're just going to lengthen, so not coming up very high, we're just going to lengthen through the crown of the head, draw the shoulders down the back, and just very gently, very slight back extension here, but thinking more about length through the back of the neck, and then lower back down. Good. So one more time, we're going to draw that roller slightly towards you, just enough that you feel the shoulders sliding down the back. and lengthen through the crown of the head. Feel the belly button lifting up away from the mat, and then lower back down again. Okay, so we can actually bring the foam rollers underneath your forehead here. If it feels too much, then just take your hands underneath your forehead. And we're just working with the legs here now. So we're going to reach back with that left toe. As we do that, we're going to lift that left leg up off the floor without lifting that left hip up, and lower back down again. Good. And we're going to reach that right toe back. Good. As we lift that right leg up and lower back down. So hands back onto the roller again. Now, as we lift the left leg up, we're ever so slightly going to come up into the back extension and then lower back down. And as we lift the right leg up, we're going to come into the back extension and lower back down. One more time to each side. So we're going to lift the left leg up. If you're cramping, just keep the foot in flexion and lower. Last time now, lift the right leg up as you come up into that back extension and lower back down. So we're going to bring the hands now either side of the head, shoulders down the back. We're going to come up into the back extension, bringing the hands either side of the shoulders and squeezing those shoulder blades together behind you, so into your W arm. So Penny, bring the hands up with you, so either side of the shoulders. That's it, and squeeze those shoulder blades together behind. Perfect, and lower back down. Good. One more time, we're coming up, squeezing those shoulder blades together, lengthening through the crown of the head and lower. On the next one, we're going to bring the legs up with us, both legs. So we're coming up into the W, we're taking both legs up off the mat and lower back down. Brilliant. One more time on the out breath. Coming up into the W arms, lengthen those legs, squeeze those glutes. We're lowering back down. We're going to push back through the hands here. Come onto your knees and then sitting back on your heels, head down to the mat. Just stretching off through that back. Good. And then we're going to come up to sitting on our heels. We're going to open those legs. So if you're not comfortable sitting on your heels, just have your legs open in a V. We're walking the hands back down to the floor, stretching out through that back. And then we're going to walk around to the right, all the way around. Place the left hand onto the right hand and stretching through that back. And we're coming back to the center again, and then walking the hands round to the left, right hand on top of the left hand. Keep the weight down into that right heel. Good. And coming back to the center again, taking the chest down to the floor there. Good, and then we're just going to walk your hands back as we come. We're going to close the knees. So Jane, if you want to come back onto the up to the chair for this last one, I'm just going to show you quickly. We've done it plenty of times. We're going to do the rounding up and then feeding on through. Yes, okay. So sitting back on your heels, hands down into the mat, we're rounding up through that back, so rounding those hips up, spine to the ceiling, and then driving those hips forward, shoulders down the back into that back extension, and then we're rounding that spine back up to the ceiling, all the way down to your heels. Good. One last time. We're rounding up through the hips. Good. And then we're going to drive those hips forward. Draw those shoulders down your back into the back extension. And rounding back up again, taking the spine to the ceiling, looking at your belly buttons, come back to sitting on your heels, just rock from side to side here, loosening that back off a bit. And then we're going to come back up onto all fours. Tuck your toes underneath you. We're going to push up into the down dog pose here, heels to the floor, head through to the knees. Or if the heels aren't if both heels aren't on the floor, bend one knee and straighten the other. Good. And just stretching that out. And then we're going to soften through the knees. Walk the hands back towards your feet here. So Penny, we're just slowly coming into a round up here. Rounding back up, stacking that spine. Come up to standing. Excellent work, everyone. Well done.